5, 6. Good morning, all. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us here on a Sunday morning. This is your Speaker's Corner. These are the wonderful people that will bring to you the news as we see it fit. I am one of your co-hosts. My name is Jeff Wheeler. I'm under the shadow of the Gold Dome on a beautiful, beautiful after snow Sunday morning. It is Atlanta, Georgia, that I see the shadow of the Gold Dome here in our lovely capital of our state. Let me introduce you to some of the other hosts that we have in with us. Let me introduce you first, all the way to my left, Michelle Lynch. Say good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Tom. And good morning, everyone out there in TV land.
That it is. And let me go to our most esteemed Yankee. That is Tom Holmes. Say good morning, Tom.
Good morning, everyone, from snowy, blustery New York.
Yeah. Well, we had some cold weather. We had some snow down here, but it didn't really stick down in the city. Apparently, it stuck a little bit up north, but now it's like going to be 50 degrees outside today. So that's really kind of the way I like snow. Come in for flurries and then disappear in the next day. Sounds good. And you guys are how snowed in up there in New York?
I don't know what the final count was, but we were looking to hit 30 inches. We went out last night in it, and it's pretty damn deep.
For a general idea, 30 inches, what would that be, like above your car, by the car door?
Well, what it means is, literally 30 inches is 2 feet plus, but it means that with drifts, like because of the wind, there were some cars that looked like they were uncovered, and then there were cars that quite literally it just went up over the door.
Woof!
Wow.
So because of the wind blowing it up, so it's enough that a drift will totally bury your vehicle.
Wow.
Good luck getting that out. There was a few cars. I was like, "You're never seeing that thing until spring."
See it till spring.
and that's also. I was looking at the car, and I'm like, and they had not plowed that street. So now you got the plowing is going to push even more onto the car. So
That's right.
Yeah, that thing's gone.
How do they not run into cars when they're plowing?
They have. I've seen video footage of a car being hit by a plow, but
okay. So it happens sometimes.
it does definitely. Yeah.
Okay. That's why you have insurance, right?
Yeah.
Just in case of dumb stuff like that.
But what did they do? They banned all non-emergency vehicles after 4 o'clock. Although I did see some this should be the thing that pisses me off. They shouldn't piss me off, but it's just going to happen all the time. Is when they tell you not to drive, they're telling that for a reason, not as a challenge. I can handle this. I saw a whole bunch of people that couldn't handle it just on my street as I walked the 3 blocks. And I was like,
right.
You dumbasses, this is why they told you not to get out here. I'm seeing all these and I'm having to back up, and the cars having to negotiate around each other because there was only enough clearance for like one car to drive down.
Right.
Dude, listen to the man on the radio.
I got places to be.
Yeah.
Listen to the man on the radio.
My drive is important. There's a party.
Shit, I got shit to do.
But we're not here to talk about snow nonstop. We're here to talk about
we aren't. We aren't here to talk about snow nonstop.
Although I did not mention that Florida, we did get a flurry. I think there was counted at least 3 flakes, and it was huge news. If no one's been to Florida, every 10 years we get a snow, and sometimes it'll stick with like icicles and stuff.
Yeah.
This time it's just cold. It's not cold and damp. It's just cold right now. So there's a little bit of a difference. But we did get some flakes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which is
Speaking
a great
of flakes.
Yeah, exactly. We
wow.
got some flakes.
Did you guys just do that right now?
We were so eager. Who's going to be the first to do it?
Nice. Go on, Jim.
The flakes, are you going to set up for the Trump-Palin ticket?
Oh, yes, Jeff. I think so. I
guess this past week, Palin came out in her stump for Trump, right?
Yes.
And so now the word on the street is that Palin may be attempting another VP run under the Trump ticket.
as I wrote in the notes, SNL approves.
Yeah.
Yeah, there would be plenty of fodder. Like literally, you can't stop. You can't stop the SNL. You can't quit SNL if those two get onto the docket.
There's a really funny New Yorker piece out now. I should put it in the links below. About which is basically it's written from the perspective of a Trump campaign assistant listening to Trump talk, and basically it's just Trump over the months intentionally trying to get like that. The whole thing is just a way to get back on TV, get a new show, and he's like he's all right. Well, this will definitely get me out of the campaign, and then it's like, are you serious? I'm up in the numbers. How am I going up in the numbers? I've insulted the Mexicans. I've insulted women. What the hell do I have to do to get out of this?
He said that he could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue, shoot someone,
and still not lose votes.
Is that what he literally said?
He literally said that yesterday.
Wow, that is insane.
Did you watch any of the Palin endorsement?
I did. I watched a few moments of it, and she is a buffoon.
I honestly think there's something, and this is not me, doing hyperbole because I thought this for a while. I honestly think she may have something wrong with her, like upstairs, because I was just not even the rambling of a unintelligent person. That looked like someone who was borderline having a stroke talking. It was weird.
She probably had to get drunk before she could stump for Trump.
There's not being coherent, and there's just. Because the last thing I remember her seeing her on television, I believe, was like this straw poll or whatever that she spoke at, and even people in the room were getting uncomfortable because they had no idea where she was going because it just was this rambling, incoherent. She's drunk uncle on from Saturday Night Live.
Wow,
she could be a dry drunk or something.
Maybe it's really unsettling.
We've had one of those for president before.
A dry drunk?
Yes.
Who's the dry drunk?
Bush, Jr.
Oh, right, because he was a drunk, but now he's gone dry. Got it. Understood.
Yeah.
Didn't know the term dry drunk until now.
There you go.
You
So, but speaking of interesting
so close
things
to saying dry hump.
Speaking of interesting things about Donald Trump, this week there was also released a programming language on Donald Trump. So it all has Trumpisms, right? In the programming language, like for instance, you can only use integers because we're in America and we don't do anything half-assed. Right? You can and any number that's in there is always starts at 1 million because we don't deal with any numbers smaller than that. It's just not worth our time.
Oh, people are funny. But
people took time to create that. I'm sorry, I didn't want to jump in. People took time to create that. They are dedicated to either
Trump
making him a buffoon if they can, which isn't or bolstering him. And I do want it's a serious thing. I have seen, and I live in a very blue part of a red state, I guess we could say. I have seen plenty of Trump stickers. I've seen Ben Carson stickers.
Wow.
This is in Gainesville. It's invited, and I've seen Bernie, so that's great. What I haven't seen is Bloomberg.
Why would you see Bloomberg?
I think he's testing the waters again. I think he's like, what do you think? What do you think? But what would he go under? Third
party.
Third party.
So it's a millionaire versus millionaire versus millionaire.
That's it.
Well, no, he's not. It wouldn't be. It would be a millionaire versus a 300,000-aire, because he's only running if it's a Trump/Cruz versus Bernie Sanders. He will not. He's not. If Secretary Clinton gets the nomination, he's not in.
All right, so there is
only
definitive.
if Bernie goes in.
if it's because his and it makes logical sense as the third party run. If you have a far right candidate versus a far left candidate, he could jump in as the centrist because he eventually was an independent candidate or independent mayor, so he could run as the center and waltz in and potentially be an upsetter. But if it's Secretary Clinton on the left or let's say Marco Rubio on the right, it has to be both. It can't be if one of those.
There has to be a big space in the middle.
There has to be a big space in the middle. Then he would slide in. I say let's have it happen. Let's just make it an insane.
What a wild election!
I would love to have a third-party candidate actually win and make both of the main party candidate or the main parties realize that they don't have a monopoly on the American electorate.
Yeah.
I'd love to read about it. I don't think I want to live it.
Why not?
We're going down a path that for 8 years I was understanding that it was a path that I could get down with. When you go and switch to third party, I don't know what path that is. I don't know anything about that. So because I'm scared.
Came to get down.
I'm scared.
Came to get down to jump around.
Get down to seat and jump around.
But I know.
Yeah. I did see a lot of Bernie information and stickers and what are those things called that go in the yard? Do you even have that in New York?
Yard signs?
Yeah. Do you have that in New York?
We don't have yards.
Yeah, I know. Do they put them? Do they get signs up in windows or something? How does that?
Do you have like banners?
Yeah, people put signs in windows. Yeah,
signs in windows. Okay, all right. Any Bloomberg signs? No, I'm just. So
it just happened. It's
well, they just dusted them off. They're like, here, he's going.
Bring it up from
dusting them off.
Yes. Bernie's doing wells. Anybody know?
Bernie's doing what? Wills?
Well in the polls.
Oh, he's doing very well in the polls. I think he is a viable candidate for making it happen. I mean, I think the latest Quinnipiac had him leading in some regards.
Leading against Hillary, and there's still no what's the tertiary option?
O'Malley,
the alley cat.
Oh.
No, he's not leading overall in those polls, but he is still gaining ground.
That's positive.
Listen, it's gonna come down to South Carolina. I said it before in the show. I'm gonna say it again. It's coming down to South Carolina because Bernie Sanders needs to still break through with the African American bloc, and I don't know if he's done that yet.
And that's not something that it's easy for somebody from Vermont to make happen.
No, because especially nor someone who is who. Yes, he sings with white progressives, but that doesn't necessarily easily translate to.
And he's an old white guy.
American Democratic.
He's an old white guy.
Bloc.
But I want to mention something. I'm not racist. I am not racist.
Where did that come from?
Anytime you say
and I know, racist, and I say everything that when you say that right before you're about to say is Jewish.
Yeah.
Did Bernie say that?
And he say he's Jewish?
Is Bernie Sanders Jewish?
What do you mean?
Wait, no. Did Bernie Sanders say, "Let me say something. I'm not racist"?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, I totally missed that.
I said that just now.
Oh.
I'm saying that as a precursor to he's Jewish.
Jewish is not a race. Jewish is not a race.
He's proud to be Jewish, but not particularly religious.
Okay, fair. I'll have that discussion with you later, Tom.
You don't have to. It's a fact.
I'll have that discussion with you later. But
it's not race. Would you call it an ethnicity?
It can be. It's a religion. Judaism is a religion.
It's a race as well. It is. It is a race.
No.
Anyway, so
I'm going to go with Tom. I don't think that Judaism is a race.
You would always go with Tom. It's sexist.
The third portion of my master's degree was in early modern Jewish studies, so I trump you with degree. Boom.
Ooh, boom. I have sheepskin. I win. Look at that dance.
My point was is that Bernie being Jewish in this world that we live in is not something that, like, whether or not some people will compare, well, we just had a black president. No. I think that particular piece attached to him adds a lot of stigma. World entities would be more getting elected because of that than because of his views on political whatever. It's just they whatever the back dealings they believe he might be doing.
So let me ask you this: what if it's Trump, Sanders,
right,
and Bloomberg?
Yep.
A second
Jew.
Will latent anti-Semitism lead people to either stay home or vote for Trump? And then
yes, wow. You got it. You are nailing exactly. Yes,
you have less faith in the American electorate than I do.
No, but it's just parts of it. It's not the whole of the. It's not the whole of it, but just parts of it.
Wow.
It's not just America, though. We're talking about influxes from the world, and I'm very cynical about this, and we're setting ourselves up, I think, not just for a Trump Bernie ticket or not ticket election, but a absolute Bernie fail, everyone that is against Trump fail election. Like I feel like he is. Get prepared. He's our next president.
That Donald Trump is our next president.
Yes.
And it's going to be such a shit show because everything that he says now is going to completely change once he gets that briefing telling him how the world really works. He's going to get in the room with all those smart guys and get truly briefed on the back deals and all of that stuff. And his whole tune is going to change. All of his story is just going to be, we got to be a little careful about blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah.
I think that would be at its best.
I don't think that Trump is a terrible human, though. And I don't think he's an idiot either. He's inflammatory, but I don't know. I don't see anybody who's really in that position of power doing something that is so dumb and destroying of America that we're really going to be where it was. When Obama got elected, we thought there was a bunch of stuff that was going to go on, but you got to pick and choose your battles whenever you're the president. So everything gets toned down. All the rhetoric of getting elected gets toned down when you're actually there.
I totally agree. Obama does not have the amount of money and the people that as in the business world that it's
He does have a lot of connections, but I don't know that that's going to make things happen. But we will talk about it as it does happen. I don't disagree that Trump is
always
reasonably likely to be our next president. Becoming more and more likely every single day.
Pit of my stomach feeling, but here you've heard it, and I had to tell you guys because I appreciate your opinions, and I know that you guys would be there to bolster anyone after if it does happen, that we're all going to survive and live through it.
We will be doing this show from the random country of the week.
What is the random country of the week?
It's actually we have a choice.
Okay.
We will be doing this show from one of the only two double landlocked nations in the world.
Double landlocked nations. Swaziland?
No.
Nations?
Mm-hmm.
They're double landlocked
countries.
nations.
Double landlocked countries.
Because that's only single landlocked.
Single landlocked.
I don't know what the double landlocked countries
are. There's only two because it's very hard to have to cross.
Right.
And for those playing at home, double landlocked means you would have to cross the borders of two nations to reach open water.
In the nearest place, there is no place that you can go through only one nation and get to water and get to an ocean, if you will. Is it a sea or an ocean or just an ocean?
It is, I believe, ocean.
The 7 seas, right?
In Europe?
The one is in Europe.
Luxembourg.
No.
I liked that guess, though.
Latvia?
You're on the right letter, which is really surprising me, but it's not Latvia.
Not Latvia or Luxembourg.
The Baltics, because the Baltic states are on the Baltic Sea, my friend. Come on.
Ah, right. I didn't know that counted as one of the 7.
But it's another one with an L.
Lithuania.
It's another one with an L.
Liechtenstein.
Yeah!
Ah, that was it. Nice.
And then the other one is probably in Asia.
Yes.
Is it Nepal?
You're kind of roughly. It's Central Asia.
Mongolia?
Further west.
I don't know what is up there as China's hat.
No, it's to the side of China. It actually does border China.
Right?
No, wait. It can't border China then because China.
It can't border China because China has a sea.
Yeah. So how is this? Oh, excuse me. Okay. I'm thinking. I got the wrong country. It is still in. Okay. It is in Central Asia.
Now I'm gonna go Google Maps. This is a fun game. I love this game.
So we're either going to be living in Central Asia, in Liechtenstein, under the Trump regime, or we're going to live in this country.
Kyrgyzstan?
Oh, so close. Go a little further south. Yeah. No. Keep going.
Tajikistan. Not Pakistan.
No. Back up. People are really enjoying us looking at them.
Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan?
Uzbekistan.
No, Uzbekistan goes to Kazakhstan, which goes to the Caspian Sea.
Caspian Sea is not an open sea.
Ah, does not connect to the 7 seas.
Nope.
Black Sea, does the Black Sea?
The Black Sea has I believe I can't remember if there's a
in Istanbul,
canal
does
or
it
not.
go through? In Istanbul?
But to access the Black Sea, they'd have to go through Kazakhstan and then Russia.
Got it. Yeah. There you go, Uzbekistan.
You know what's great about this, guys?
26.8?
What is that?
Is that we get
30.1, okay.
So we get to talk about this on the internet.
Yes.
Wow, thank you.
And things like net neutrality allows us to do this.
Yes, it allows all the bits to be the same theoretically.
Theoretically.
And we could talk about whatever it is that we wanted to talk about, and nobody can really be mad about it.
Yeah.
And nobody can really say when and where we can do things. But there is something that's getting in my way right now. The ruling from Comcast started in the end of last year that changed their rules for how you access the internets. And that rule change means now that there is 300 gigabytes is the maximum amount of any data that you can use on Comcast. And they say it's for, load balancing and stuff like that, but it's not a hard cap. So really, it's about accumulating more money from people who really use the internet. And so they're now charging $10 for every 50 extra gigabytes that you're doing. But what I think the play really is for Comcast is that Comcast is trying to create free zones, such as what Netflix just did with T-Mobile, where there is no usage if you use a T-Mobile device and watch Netflix at 480p. You can watch 480p Netflix on your T-Mobile device as long and as hard as you want, and you never get charged for any of the data for doing that. And I think that's what Comcast is going to. They're going, well, all of our users have data caps. Let's get with Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Hulu to get a deal worked out with them, increase the price of Netflix and Hulu in order to make their data free, which then inherently makes their TV products that much more price competitive in the market. So I think it's a power play to keep Comcast's television products viable.
You heard it here, folks, and I 100% agree. I think that makes perfect sense in the world of telecom. My question is the internet a finite source? Is there some sort of protection we're going to have that we're all going to be allotted, let's say, 3 gigs before they start? Sorry, ferrets. Before they start charging us, can something like that happen in our world?
I think that the internet is a finite resource, but it is so big and vast that it's like saying salt water on this planet is also a finite resource. Yes, you can poison it and make it to where there's not enough to actually do what you need to do, but in our current state of usage, it is so much bigger than what we're actually dealing with right now.
Fair enough.
That's my 2 cents.
As we go how we're gonna be. So let it run wild still, and we'll see if they start to try and throttle, put caps and get away from net neutrality. Then we will talk about what that is, or can we? I mean, what is there a reason? Did I make any sense with that?
No. But I think that I think that the caps are going to come and go, and if we're noisy about it, then the caps will disappear. In May of 2012, Comcast also had a 250 gigabyte limit that they had for a couple of months and then got rid of. So
it's ultimately what I think will play out is something along the lines of what happened with phones. If you remember, long distance, many of our younger viewers won't remember that long distance in this country was insanely expensive.
Yes.
And it would be like, don't talk to your cousins in California for too long. You know, we'd all get the family together to like quickly have the phone call, you know, because it was like so expensive. And then basically mobile carriers came along and were like, we can do that for a song. And that's gone now. The whole idea of like, you know, dropping dollars and dollars in, the only thing that is equivalent is like now international phone calls, but even that now is probably going to go the way of
the dodo
because of, you know, Skyping and WhatsApp and all these like net-based communication skills. So eventually what's going to happen is right now it is really being controlled by a few parties, and because it's a few parties, they can dictate really the prices they charge, but relatedly also the caps that they can assign it. So all it's going to take is for some kind of unseen third party to come in and basically give an option that breaks the monopoly, and you're going to see it go away.
Yep. And I hope that it's people like Google Fiber who come in, because Google wants to give you as much data as possible, because then you browse the internets more. And so they're just going to go, we're going to give you a pipe and we're not going to do it. And then Comcast's business model kind of disappears on any of that. And until there are viable internet-only service providers, then we won't ever truly have that market. And AT&T is not an internet-only provider. They're really a phone provider that has segued into internet. And Comcast is really a TV provider that has segued into internet. But because they have the infrastructure, it's cheaper for them to provide it than your one-on-one ISPs. And if you look at the dial-up ISP world, it did exactly what Tom is talking about. The dial-up ISP world was on a number of hours whenever it was other providers that were also providing you with your internet service. AOL was really a web space that was also providing you access to the internet. CompuServe was a web space that was also providing you access to the internet. Prodigy the same way. And so when those guys were there, they were selling you on a dollars per hour basis. When it moved to straight up ISPs where all they were giving you was a connection to the pipe, all of a sudden unlimited started to show up. And unlimited started to show up with the Net Zeros and the Junos and all those guys.
Net Zero, holy crap.
Net 10 now.
Net 10 now, right? Okay, so all of these, have you not heard Net Zero in a long time, Tom?
I had not thought about that company in forever. Holy crap.
That was the only way I could get on the internet at home for a good year.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So if those are all the case, then we're going to, if we see the encouragement and the actual production of real straight-up internet service providers, that's all they really are there to do, is to provide you with internet. At that moment, we're going to see the unlimited model come right back, and it won't ever go to the limited model. Because the extra bandwidth is so nominally free. It's not actually free, but it's just so close to free that it can't make sense to have limits on it.
I see your vision.
Yes.
I understand and approve of the vision. The only question I have is not even a but. What other company besides Google can fill that space?
Apple.
Apple.
Facebook.
Okay. Facebook.
All those companies that benefit from you having unfettered and unrelenting access to the internet. And all of them are working on projects to provide internet to underserved markets.
Is Amazon doing it? Is Amazon?
I don't know. I haven't read anything on Amazon being an ISP.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, you're broadening my perspective. Thank you, guys. That makes much more sense. Yeah.
That's what we're here for, broadening perspectives.
That's not something that's actually was discussed in school in my telecom tracks. Was anything about, well, what would happen if we have entities that own simply the internet, entities that own simply everything is conglomeration. Mm-hmm. So that would be a shift change in the industry as well.
I would like to see the government come in who has dictated that cables are monopolies and dictated that phone companies are monopolies to do the same thing to cable what it did to telephone companies, where the last mile of wire is public space that you can lease from the provider.
And that goes back to that question of, is the internet a finite source? Because the reason why they can do that is because it was a finite source. So they had to reserve a piece of it. Just like our radio waves are a finite source, they have to reserve a piece of it that we can always use for public, for people, for the government, for whatever the needs and purposes are. So in order to get that, go down that path, right, in order to go down that path, we have to prove that the internet is a finite resource. If you want to go based on case history or start a whole new one.
Well, and here's the other thing that I think will also open it up. Our wireless connections are getting better and better and better and better. And why in the world do we not have long-range wireless? And LTE speeds are very reasonable for what it is. So then you start to run, the 2.4 or 2.5 gigahertz spectrum that they were trying to do WiMAX with. You do it as something that goes outside of your house, and you put up an antenna, same way you would for your old TV antennas, and you got unlimited internet. Boom! You know what I mean? And
that's brilliant.
That would step on top of all of these people who are fighting over the wires. And then the guys that are on the wires have to provide you with unlimited for the same cost and be competitive.
But we do need wires to get the internet across to everybody, right?
Yes.
We cannot just use satellites. And that's why, like, on a cruise you don't have internet access. Usually, unless you pay.
No, now it's there and available. Cruises are now reasonable internet connections, apparently.
In and of themselves, though, they create their own network based on like some sort of antenna that they're
Right. So they have a backhaul to the regular wired internet of the thing, and you can get reasonable speeds on there. And there are new boats that are now connecting with a gigabit connection that everybody shares, but that gives you a reason. You've got enough bandwidth that you could stream a 480p Netflix, which is unheard of historically speaking.
What a day and age we live in. Yes, we're going on a cruise. All right.
Yeah,
Tom loves
we need to
cruises
test this
now.
out. We need to test this out.
Tom, you have an ass hat for us this week?
I certainly do, and I hate to say that our ass hat is our boys in blue. It is not just the Air Force; it is the United States Air Force. Can someone tell me what last Monday was?
Last Monday was January
The 18th?
18th. 118.
Let's go a little more distinct. What was Monday?
35 years ago, the President-elect Ronald Reagan was preparing to be sworn in.
Am I really going to have to dig? Schools were closed last Monday. Do you know why schools were closed?
Oh, right. Because
Now,
MLK Day.
It was Martin Luther King Day.
Yes.
Yeah. So, lots of things were going on. What's a throw out some facts about Martin Luther King that you might know.
They make it free to go to all of the national parks in the United States on Martin.
Not on Martin Luther King Day. Martin Luther King. Let's just
he went to a college that is just down the street from me. One of the historically black college universities here in Atlanta, Morehouse, I believe.
Okay. What about
was the minister of the same parish that he was the minister of at Ebenezer Baptist Church.
he was a great civil rights leader.
His father's name was not originally Martin Luther. His father's name, Martin Luther, was taken when he went to, I believe, Germany for a Baptist convention, one of the first Baptist convention, and he then therefore changed his name from like Jimmy King or something like that to Martin Luther.
Are you reading the Wikipedia?
No, this is off of my head right now.
Wow,
That's amazing.
I'm impressed. So more so, I was like, we know about the end of his life, right?
Right?
We know a little bit more. We know that there's people claiming that he was a womanizer. We know some negative things. We know some positive things. Yes.
Well, I'm more getting to like the last day of his life, the last moment of his life. We all know that he died from a sniper's bullet, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Apparently the United States Air Force forgot this or overlooked this fact because for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, they decided to have a Martin Luther King Jr. fun shoot at an Air Force base.
What?
Yeah, look it up. It's a great poster. It's a fun shoot for people who might know is a skeet shoot competition. And so they decided on Martin Luther King Day to have a Martin Luther King Jr. fun shoot event.
Can we call him his born name of Michael King Jr.? Both he and his father were Michael King when they were born.
I'm going with Martin Luther King.
I call him with whatever he wants to be called.
You go up to Muhammad Ali and call him Cassius and see what happens. All right. If the man wants to be called Muhammad Ali, call him Muhammad Ali. So United States Air Force Base. The Air Force Base was Oh, it's in Georgia, dude.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, even better.
Jesus.
An Air Force Base in Georgia drew criticism on Thursday after posting controversial flyers advertising a Martin Luther King Jr. fun shoot featuring a picture of the civil rights leader who was famously gunned down in 1968. Oh, some
Macon. Macon, Georgia.
So
Wow.
you get to be my asshat. I didn't even realize it was Georgia. I did not do that intentionally.
Costs $20, includes 2 rounds and lunch for the skeet range.
Man. All right, so you're my asshat.
Robbins Air Force Base. Where's Robbins?
You tell me.
Is that in
I
Macon?
don't know.
Yeah, Macon.
Okay. Whoopee!
Do we do all this like Prime and Hulu proliferation stage for streaming, or is that still on the docket?
I don't know what the.
Oh, I should have mentioned that earlier. But my complaint with Prime and Hulu, and there's got to be a better method of doing this. And I don't want to be abusive of the system, but I want to use the system in a way that is not to take all my money. My Hulu, they both you can have on your with. and for to one other adult, and then 3. If you have 4 children, too bad. And then Hulu, it limits it to 1 streaming device at a time. And I feel like these are ridiculous limits that they've set. And so my comment is F you, Prime and Hulu.
Well, but they're trying to just make it to where people aren't sharing a user account. Somebody doesn't just have a user account, put it up on a forum, and 700 people use it.
Fair enough.
Dorm floor.
Fair enough. Netflix has a limit as well. It's just not 1.
Right. Okay. Netflix has 5, I think.
Yeah.
And most people that have Netflix share.
And rightfully so, they can. I think
rightfully, why?
Because it's in their family. I think if you're going, especially from my one, well, at least in my family, and I go from one room of my house to the other, I should be able to stream in both of those rooms.
I agree to that wholeheartedly.
And I'm annoyed with that. I'm annoyed that my family, my dad can't go watch whatever he wants out there, and I go watch whatever I want in here. I have to pay for another account for him. That's ridiculous. You're in my house. That's. Yeah, I understand. And again, like I said, I'm willing to give you money. Just it's not. I don't want my money to be taken from me for no good reason.
This is reminding me of like a random piece of technology. I think I've talked about it in the show before, and I think I sent a link for it. It was this television set that it was a projection television, a tube, projection tube television, but it had the screen was phased. So it was basically 2 projections going to the same screen, but you wore glasses that
I remember this
polarized so that you could watch, and you wore headphones so that a couple could sit on the couch, and the advertisement showed a couple sitting on the couch holding hands, watching the same television but watching 2 different programs.
Yeah, you could do that on 3D TVs. LG had that available for their 3D TVs. So it didn't even have to be a
technology, man.
Oh, that was 1960s?
This is 60s, man.
Wow.
Yeah, look it up. It's crazy. It looks crazy. It's yeah.
That's a great idea, though. I mean, it would be wonderful in many places to be able to do that. Put on some Bluetooth headphones and have 2 people watch. Same time.
That's what she said.
Ah! Ah!
Oh, man.
It will happen. I think that with all of this streaming stuff, we are in the proliferation stage on streaming. I think that we are in the stage of the growth of this technology that it will continue to have more and more people that are doing this thing in many different ways, and we will, at some point in the not too distant future, I would imagine it's 2017, where we're going to start to hone, and we're going to start consolidation.
2017, you heard it here first, folks.
That is my projection. So there you go. What is it?
That's like next year.
Basically, yeah, in middle of next year. It is 18 months. I think that's about right. Because we're getting to where the quality is pretty solid, and now it's going to be who can make the best content, and then how can you provide that.
Are our devices ready, or do I need to wait for devices?
Oh, well, there's going to be one more generation of devices that are going to get it right. There's going to be a new generation. We're going to do one more generation of devices that's going to call out a winner, and then in the next 18 months, and then there's going to be the device that will be the main thing. Mid-2017.
I like your forecasting, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. And speaking of forecasting,
yeah,
I hear we've talked about there being a great snowstorm.
Force.
Yes.
Great disturbance in the forest, a great snowstorm. How's that affecting you guys?
Not at all.
Not at all. We got my off screen. My assistant came in and advised me that we had 30 inches fall. But the biggest thing, and this is this week's things that piss Tom off that shouldn't piss Tom off, is I got 30 inches of snow, but you know what I didn't get? My mail.
No way.
What?
The mail is supposed to go rain,
Through
sleet,
sling.
shine,
Yeah, that
snow,
one.
all kinds of weather. The mail will get together.
It's a lie, man.
For
It's all a big
FLORD.
farce. It's a big farce, man.
Oh, jeez.
Man, who gave him the day off?
I don't know.
They deliver on Sundays now, at least.
Maybe they deliver it to other people and just not to you.
Oh, burn.
Yeah.
Those government
like people
workers.
in Miami. Like people in Miami.
Like people in Miami?
That's who they delivered to, where the weather wasn't an issue.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes.
I don't know. It was a good joke, but it was a joke nonetheless.
Over here in
It's a
Florida,
joke.
we got our mail. We got our mail.
Did you get my mail?
Did you get your mail?
Did you get my mail?
No, we didn't get your mail. It's still on your way to you, I hear.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome
Yeah.
to pay my bills if you like.
Anybody who would like to pay our bills is accepted and encouraged to do so.
Well, the USPS seems to be disappointing, but over here in Gainesville, our GPD is our Gainesville Police Department. Their PR branch does a good number of things. They try and put out some videos every once in a while to be funny. And so they recently put out a video about a GPD officer that walked up to a group of kids and was like, hey, do you realize that I got a call that you guys are being too rowdy? And then the officer proceeded to play basketball with the guys.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Because citizens aren't really criminals most days.
That's
No.
true.
They shouldn't.
That's
be.
true.
They shouldn't be
that
treated as such.
Video went viral,
It
Yes, it
did.
did.
as the kids say, and I believe I last saw Mr. Shaquille O'Neal visited the Gainesville Police Department and then went to play basketball with the police and the same said kids.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Super cool. I
Which
didn't know
is
that.
completely opposed to the other viral video that I saw this past week of a cop running into a motorcyclist.
Thank you.
Because he was apparently traveling too fast. The motorcyclist was speeding, and so the cop trying to stop him actually hit the motorcycle, knocked it over, and then chest kicked the motorcyclist across the way.
Yeah, it's fine.
And then after he chest kicked the guy, then he finally arrested him and whatever.
All
and
right.
so the guy took him to court, and this past week got $180,000 in money reparations from the police department.
That's insanity.
It
This
is.
is insane.
People need to calm down. Everyone needs to find things to do with their time. Maybe take out some of their aggression.
Yeah.
Go
Play
and play some
basketball.
basketball, or play some tabletop games.
Tabletop games.
Yes. I just wanted to mention, because I'm now amassing a crazy collection, I should at least bring some of this information to you guys out there. This new tabletop game that I've got is called Love Letter. It was originally created in Japan. We now have a ton of them in the U.S. That are Love Letter Batman, Love Letter, there's a Victorian one, Love Letter Munchkin. Everybody's got a Love Letter. I haven't seen a Potter one, but I'll get it when it comes out. But it's a really cute game. It's only got 16 cards. And basically, you just go back and forth with numbered cards, trying to end up with the highest number card at the end. And
Okay.
it's a lot of fun. There's no this one's pretty simple. There's no trying to lie or deceit anyone. There's no resource management or anything. This one's a simple one. Still not one that I can do in a line, because I'm always looking for ones that I can do in a line. But it is one that you can do with only 2 players. And
In a line? What does that
What's
mean?
a line?
like if you're standing in queue.
Oh.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm always looking for ones that you can do in queue, and then ones that you can do with just 2 player and 1 player. So.
You want a pocket
there's
game,
a
like
game
a-
that I was
like
playing
pocket pool.
on my I guess my phone that picks up your Bluetooth and allows you to play with somebody else. That would be perfect for playing in line. It's basically this rocket ship, and one person gets a thing that the other person's supposed to do. So you have to scream out, "Hit the gizmo whatsy," and turn the floburator from 3 to 6, and turn
that's
off
kinda cool.
The gajimahutsi, and I'm like, okay, that's awesome.
Can
So
you
it's
share
fun.
that? That would be awesome. Yeah.
We'll look up that game.
Yeah.
I like the like that makes me think of, I posted online, I thought it was a really smart idea. The game Exploding Kittens
Yes.
created an app version, but rather than making it something that you play online with strangers, it's someone you have to basically be on the same network with. So as long as you have like a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth connection with other users, so that's how you would play it. And I just thought that was really ballsy and smart, because the whole fun of that game is playing with people that you're actually looking at.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really smart for them not to like lose that element of the game in pursuing online sales.
Right.
Awesome. Yes. So yeah, everyone that's got anger, go out and play some games.
Everyone who's got anger, go out
anger issues. Yeah, go out and play some games. Get them
Donald
out
Trump,
some other way. Yeah.
Donald Trump, go play some games.
Go play some games, man.
Don't build walls. Build
Sarah
settlements.
Palin, there's games out there for you too. Checkers, man. Try it.
Wow.
You're
You think she
wonderfully
can handle
awful.
that?
I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'll play her in a contest of checkers.
Would you?
I definitely. I'd let her win.
She would probably start to complain that everything's being outsourced. Can you believe it's being outsourced? Now they got Chinese checkers. I just don't understand why we
She
can't
wouldn't
have
play
American
it.
checkers.
Space Team.
This came from Russia.
Space Team is the game you want. Space Team.
Space Team. Thank you, sir.
Space Team.
Space Team. That's what I call us here every week, the Space Team.
And speaking of things that can't get imported, the Trump script doesn't allow import of other commands. You can't bring in things from because everything needs to be American made. You can't import other routines.
That is brilliant. Brilliant.
And on that bombshell, I think we have had another week of wonderfulness, illustriousness, and the best time that I have had all Sunday because of you two lovely people.
Aw.
I will remind our listeners, our viewers, that you don't have to think like me.
You don't have to think like me.
You don't have to think like me.
But we ask you to think.
Every week. We'll see you next week.
Okay.